Now, I don't want to listen to good music anymore. I'm sick of it. I want to listen to shit music. Now, let me explain. Now, during the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, some of the best rock music of all time, or the best music of all time in my opinion, but that's just because I like that style of music, right? But aside from classical, which is Beethoven, but there were a lot of bands and a lot of musicians that weren't formally trained in music. They didn't have any particular ideas of how to structure songs or how to write lyrics or how to put chords together and melodies, and they would just listen to their favourite bands, and they'd grab a guitar that maybe their parents bought them some cheap thing like these beauties, and just start jamming out some chords and start singing over it. And these were often working class people, and they would write about things that they knew and things that they were going through, which was often about the world, the working class world they live in. Now, obviously, this isn't always the case. I understand there's a lot of bands that didn't do it like that, but there was more of an emphasis on that. And the music industry at the time would allow this to happen. And there is no music industry nowadays, so the rules are completely different. But you get some of the most interesting, fascinating songwriting styles come out of this phenomena. So, obviously, think of the Beatles, right? 4 working class boys. They just got their instruments and listened to their favourite records and just started sort of emulating them. And then when they branched out and did their own stuff, it was just the craziest, weirdest stuff that they could come up with. And it worked. It was amazing. And that spurred everyone else on. And there was a fascination with that in society, with those types of songs and that type of songwriting. And I think we've gone very, very far away from that nowadays. Our most celebrated musicians or artists are often singers. Now, that was always the case as well. There was always just singers. Now, I've got nothing against just singers or just musicians that play really well. That's obviously a big part of the music world. You have to have people like that, of course. But when it comes to those bands that didn't have writers for them, they would just, sit down in a room with a pen and a piece of paper and a guitar or whatever, and just write whatever came into their head. Those songs, because they were allowed to do that for so many years and they were allowed to experiment, they would come up with ideas that were just so fascinating and so interesting and so unique. And even when they were kind of derivative, they were still interesting because it's coming out of their own mind. It's coming out of an individual human that has their own experiences and interpret things in their own way. And it just makes it interesting, right? Now, what I was saying was there is a lot of celebrities nowadays, especially in the charts, and they say that they write a song, and what they mean is they go into a room with another writer, professional writer, or a team of professional writers, and they probably do most of the heavy lifting, and the artist, says, oh, I like this word, or I like flowers, or, it makes me think of my breakup, and then they fit that in. Now, that, again, generalising, I'm sure that isn't the way it always is, but I mean, if you listen to what's on the charts nowadays, I mean, most of it is just garbage, isn't it, to be honest? Charts, I don't even know what that means. Spotify, listen to the songs that you hear on Rick Beato's channel, right? He goes through all those chart hits, Spotify chart hits. They're not great, but then it's a matter of getting back to basics, grabbing someone. Now imagine this, grab someone off the street, give them a piano, give them a guitar, right? They don't know how to play it. Stick them in a room, pen, paper, lock the door, say, write me an album and get it right. Whatever, and leave them in there a week. Food and water, of course. A couple of beers. Whatever they produce will be far more interesting than 99% of the songs that are out there at the moment, because it's that inexperience, it's that rawness, it's that the unusualness of a human mind being translated into music. And when you get good at playing music, you tend to sort of follow rules, and you get into patterns of, like, it's like playing, if any of you play guitar and you know the pentatonic scale, it's just, you learn that first of all, because we all do, and it's easy to just sort of fall into that, and you just play those 5 notes over and over and over, and it just gets really boring, but it's comfortable. So when you learn these things in writing songs, you learn certain tricks and tropes and things, and you just end up doing that, and it just gets mediocre. So it's almost like you need to get people that are really crap, don't know anything about it, and translate all the weird shit that's in your brain through your instrument, and record it, and just record. And that's another thing about recording. Wouldn't it be more fascinating to say, just record the first thing that comes out of people's minds when they sit down in a room and get on their instrument, and just say, right, that's it, you're done, you are done. That first take, that's all you're gonna get. We're sending that out into the world. If you want to do it again, do another song, and just see what happens, just to see the strangeness of the human mind. Because there's a lot of stuff, I think there's a lot of great music still to come in the future. I mean, it's hard to find good music nowadays anyway. It's on there, it's on the internet, you can find it. It's just really difficult because we don't have a centralized way of searching for music, of having a place where we can all go to and compare all the songs in one place. It just makes it more difficult when you have all these disparate sort of, you got Spotify over here, and then you got to go that over here, and it's just really difficult to get a grasp on what's going on. But AI is another problem. Well, is it I'm not sure it's that much of a problem. It's useful, I think, if you're writing an advert, or you're writing just a little bit of music for, whatever, you're selling dishwashers or something on the TV. You get AI to write a little jingle for it. Fine, that's it's good use of it. Make the whole ad with AI. Why not? It's not a problem. No one's expecting it to not be. But when it comes to art, no one wants to listen to an AI song, do they? I mean, for entertainment purposes, if it's funny or silly or just a bit kind of wacky, and it's like, yeah, it's AI. So you give it once, give it a little laugh, and then you move on. But you're not going to sit down and listen to a whole album of AI music. So I'm not really sure AI is going to be that much of a disruptor, but not solely on in the case of, like, art and listening to music for listening's sake. But I think what's more of a problem is that this mediocrity and this dullness that we have, and this fascination with being successful on the internet, on shorts and on reels, and capturing people, capturing their attention after a second, and then just only writing a chorus because that's what sells on the internet, and blah blah blah, and all this sort of shite. Is that something you're going to be proud of, that you've got 1 million clicks on a video because you manipulated people? I mean, it's what's the point? Okay, well, the point is you make £1 million. Okay, I'll get that. That's a good point. But I would like £1 million as well. Thank you very much. But I'm just talking about art for art's sake, music for music's sake. I think, let's just get back to basics. Anyway, that's my rant about music, and tell me what you think. I want your opinion. Like this video, and subscribe and all that, because it helps me to know whether or not you even want to hear this shit, and whether or not you want to hear my music, go listen to the Commander A album. You'll fucking love it, or you won't. Don't know. But I need to know if you do, because I've got another one coming, and I need support, and I need help, and I need your help, and I need your support. So do all those things, get to it, but most importantly, really, just write good music. I should say, write music. Forget good music. Just write music, any music, because writing music, I think, is something that we just don't focus on. We focus on playing really, shredding on the guitar and all this sort of stuff. But that's been done, so get your pen and paper and lock yourself in a room and just try to create something interesting. See you later. Bye-bye.